All right, and we're live. Welcome, welcome. So, this is gonna be a little bit of a weird rush stream, but that's okay. Just because, like, I don't know, I've only got limited time today. So, web dev in the poll won. So, back to web dev it is. So the plan for today is to, I guess, knock off any to-dos that we haven't done yet. I guess we haven't finished resolving file name collision with moving. So I've got to take a look at that, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. I literally just got back from work. I didn't even change, but that's, how dedicated I am to this grind. Yeah, so I haven't looked at this code base in a minute. Like, I don't even know when the last web dev stream was, like a week ago nearly. So I've got to like spend some time derusting on this. So yeah. So without further ado, let's begin. You actually wait for a stream for once? That's awesome, Kara. Yeah, it's weird because I needed to I needed to stream now, like just after work instead of after dinner because I have a lot of stuff to do tonight. Because I'm traveling tomorrow and I need to like pack and I need to do laundry and these sorts of things. So I was like, I don't know, like I don't want to do that stuff because then I also have to make dinner. So there's like a lot of things to get out of the way, but yeah, so that's why I'm streaming now. It'll also be a shorter stream. It'll just be 2 hours instead of the normal 2.5. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you joining. Okay, so we have to get these file name collisions resolved, I think. So let's go to Postman. If it opens, there we go. Nice. But I hope anyone watching, I hope you had a good day so far. So yeah, do we have, it's collisions when moving, right? Because we have deletion. Implement directory movement. Yeah, so maybe we didn't finish up the collisions, right? So that would be inside of this middleware. So let me just like authenticate myself first. And then we'll do our email. Oh, it doesn't remember credentials. Or not Ben at BenStack, it's Ben at example, I think. Password 54. This is our post. There we go. All right, we've authenticated the session. So now we can go back to, yo, how's it going, Codex? Welcome, welcome. We need to also open up DB Studio, Drizzle Studio. I need to get that open in Chrome because I can't open it in Brave because Brave does not like loading in local stuff for some reason. So I have to use Chrome for this one. But honestly, if I could just get completely, well, not completely finished, but if I can tie up these, finish up these little things with this this back end, then that would be great. So we could start front end. Okay, so where am I? So I need to refamiliarize myself with the directory structure. Okay, so we've got this dir and documents, and then its parent is documents. Okay. And then its parent is root. So this dir is inside of documents. And we have two tests. So this test.txt is inside of this dir, and then this one is inside of documents, right? So I think, because right now, I think if we move the file that's inside of this directory, because I've got like kind of two nested directories, so this is kind of the structure, right? If I move this test.txt into documents, I think it'll still let it happen, right? So that's kind of what we were dealing with the file move. So resolve file name collision when moving. Been a while. Very good to see you again. I appreciate you, Sung. We also had that thing, right, where we were having the file name changing. So yeah. Because I think instead of renaming the file if you move it, we should just prevent it from being moved. The file name creation should only happen if you're creating a new file with the same name, and then kind of appending that like count, like bracket 1, bracket 2, whatever next to it. I remember us doing that before. Have I used convex? I don't know what that is. So no. How'd you learn and to be the point where you are right now? I've been doing stuff for a long time, but I feel stuck. Yeah, it's not easy, Ozzy, to be honest with you. Like I've kind of felt, to be fully honest with you, I felt stuck on this project for a long time. And I think the most important thing is to just kind of show up and make progress, even if it feels like you're not making progress. Like just showing up and doing something productive for the project that you're working on or whatever it is a good thing. And also, like, you don't have to stay on the same topic forever. Like, if something's really giving you a hard time, you can always pivot and learn something else or do something else, right? So yeah. I just need to remember. Okay, so drive file update put. So yeah, I forget. See, the problem is jumping into a code base after a week. You're like, what is going on? So if dir2 ID, okay, so this is for movement, right? Now for here, we need to check for name collision. We need to check for a name collision here, right? And then if there is a name collision, just prevent movement, right? So what we need to do is, now that we know that the directory where the file is going, const file collision is equal to await drive query dot select file by name, sorry, and then we need the user.id and the dir2 ID and the file.name, right? And then if there is a file collision, then we want to return c.json success. I need to remove the Zod schema import. I think I don't need this type either. I'm just gonna clean up imports that we're not using. Yeah, so return c.json success false, and then message file with name file.name already exists in folder in directory dir2 exists.name, right? Something like this. What made you decide to not use AI for this project? I got you, my friend. You can also read my FAQ here. Yo, appreciate you, Paul. Thank you for joining. But yeah, no, today is kind of a hasty stream. A little bit, so it's a little unorganized. Okay, so this is good. So I think we're getting our file collision here. So now if we try to move this test.txt from here inside into the documents, there should be a collision. And then it should be prevented from happening, because I don't think we should move the file and rename it. I feel like it's better to just prevent the movement from happening. Now, if you were creating a file that already has the same name, then you could do the resolve file duplicate name. I think we already implemented that, if I recall. Yeah, await resolve file duplicate name. So then that will give us that, and so we can use the new file name here. So difficult not to use AI though, especially when you're stuck on a problem. Yeah, that's fair, Ozzy. Been following your progress for a little while now. I want you to know, did you have any previous knowledge before you began documenting your journey? Yeah, Paul, I have a computer science degree. So yeah, I do have about 2 years of programming experience. Well, not programming experience, but I have 2 years of experience, at least with CS before jumping into web development. However, I started web development basically from scratch, starting this journey. So, yeah. I think that's good. So now, if we try to do this movement, so let's do, I think this is all in a request, right? So if I go drive / and then the file name, because I think that's how the router works, right? File ID, drive file, update, put. So we need the file ID. What transport layer your app uses? HTTP? I don't know what. I forget exactly what the transport layer refers to, but it's HTTP. As far as like the protocol to communicate between the front and back end. It's just an API, a REST API that I've built. Okay, so we need the file ID for this guy. So the Vister one. So okay, let me go to here. So it'd be drive, and then the ID, and then we need to do our query, and then we're going to say dir2 is equal to that documents directory. Which is this one. Yep. Now we should get an error response back. Oh, nothing to update. Why? This body, by the way, isn't necessary. Nothing to update. Oh, because that's the file. It's not the directory. That's my bad. Okay. So yeah, it would be this one. It would be this directory here. I think. What? Dude. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so that's parent ID is 2B, 6A. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. So this one's inside of the root directory. Or no, it isn't. dir ID 2A 4. Let's see. I guess we should also, because there's nothing, so dir2, oh, it's dir2 ID, that's my problem. It's dir2 ID. Is that the right, yeah, that's the right query, okay, that's why. Yeah, file with name test.txt already exists in directory documents, nice. Good. That's what we wanted to see. So now we have that name collision, working on move, which is good. Where did I put that? Yes, okay, so then I'm going to do single quotes. There we go. Nice. Okay, so that's good. So now I guess that's just, maybe we should probably test that again. So now if we move the other, we try moving the other document into the other file. So instead of moving this test.txt up here, we should probably try moving this one down into this dir. So if I go to sorry. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I also want to iterate for anybody watching. Like, my computer science degree was not really CS applications; it was CS theory. I learned 0 web development in my computer science degree. Just as an FYI. I've said this multiple times, but I'm just justifying. I'm just mentioning it again, just for clarity, because the web dev journey, like I didn't learn any web dev prior to 6 months ago. So, okay, so let me get back to where I was here. Sorry, I'm all discombobulated today, guys, but we're getting there. Just got to warm up. So let's move this file into this directory, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Seba, exactly. No, I don't give a shit, honestly. Yeah, so this file name with test.txt already exists in directory this dir. Okay. But no, I appreciate it. No AI cool, yeah. Indeed so. Okay, so that's good. So, nice. Okay, so that, I think we've got file movement. Now there is going to be, I don't think we need to actually care about directories. Oh yeah, we do. We need to care about sister directories. Having the same name, I think. So like, for example, we couldn't have 2 directories called this dir, right? Underneath the same directory. So we have to prevent that. So I think we've got the file name collisions finished. We just need to do our directory controller. So I need to make sure that I have that collision in place. Yeah, so I don't think I do. Let's just read our code. So this is our drive directory update. So if we try to create a new directory and it already has the same name as their collision, probably not actually. So, okay, well, file name collision when moving, we've got, then we need dir name collisions. So this needs to be dir name collisions. Yeah, that's the other thing too, guys. Like, I'm trying to just be like, I'm just trying to be positive on these streams, to be honest with you. And like, I'm not really huge on negative attitudes or belittling. So like, yeah, that's basically that. It's not really the place for that, to be honest. Or like even bragging. It's not really my thing either. Just like, you know, yeah, I'd appreciate it, you know, if you just would keep things to yourself, to be honest with you. Yeah, dude, if you keep going, I'm gonna mute you, my friend. Because it's not productive, right? It's not productive conversation. So let me just, okay, where was I? It's hard to do both things at the same time. Okay. dir2 ID. Okay, so my checking collisions, let's see. So if there's no dir ID given, okay. And then validate that dir ID and dir2 ID are UUIDs and not just any string. Just a second, folks. There we go. Okay. Yo, how do you learn coding without AI? I'm new to you. I'm new. Do you use documentation? Yeah, I usually do documentation, Vlad. That's kind of my. Yeah, basically documentation. Sometimes chat also helps out, which is really cool. And also, yeah, documentation, chat, forums as well are really helpful. Like you know, classic Stack Exchange, these sorts of things. But yeah. So. All right. Let's continue. Just gonna let me see. dir2 exists. Yeah. Okay. So this is validate the dir ID and dir2 ID exist. Dir ID new name. Yes. Okay. So dir2 ID. And we need to check for collision in here. Check for sister file collision. So cool. Yeah, exactly, Paul, right? Like, and that's the thing. And a lot of people unfortunately don't understand, you know, that it's not all about LARP, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to just like sit here and like flaunt your knowledge and like, because that's not really productive. Like sitting here and actually like trying to build things, and struggle through problems, even if you have gaps. Like you're gonna have gaps in your knowledge. It's like it's important, you know. Exactly, and those are things that you pick up as you go, right? And it's like I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like full disclosure, and this isn't really, you know, I'm not trying to make any sort of excuses, but like I do this on top of working a 40-hour work week. Like this is not like I'm not just sitting here doing this all day. I work a 9 to 5 job, and I literally just got home from work and I sat down on stream to continue learning because this is what I care about and this is what I'm passionate about. And I want to kind of show that you can do shit even if it's not a lot of progress. The learning's never finished. No, exactly, and I think that's the thing too, is to always or to assume that you're going to be done at some certain point is a fallacy, because you're never going to finish. You know, people that have even been learning for their entire lives are still learning. Like you have to have the mindset of a lifelong learner, right? And it's like, you know, you get somebody in a bad mood that wants to bring someone else down, and they are trying to catch them on some like little knowledge, you know, thing, and it's like that's not really the point, you know? Like that's not the point. You're completely missing the entire point of what I'm doing here and what this is all about, right? And it's also, as I say, it's also bringing like negativity, right? So that's kind of my attitude. And it's not even like I'm not even saying like I don't want to take criticism. It's more so like it's just not productive, right? Because like I'll take criticism if it's warranted. Yo, how's it going, Blueberries? Welcome. Effing love the grind, my bro. Coming back and getting right to this are things I really love to see. Yeah, exactly. That's like, and again, am I making a lot of progress? Probably not. Kind of just half chatting to you guys and half kind of picking away at this project. But, you know, like half the battle is just showing up and turning on the stream, right? Just had first class this semester. Yo, how was it? What's the name of the theme? I got you. Okay, so const dir collision is equal to await drive query dot select dir by name, and then we're going to do the user dot ID, and then we're going to do the dir2 ID, and then the name of the directory, right? Do we actually have that anywhere? I guess we have dir ID. I guess it would just be dir. This would be dir.name. Right? And then now if there's a dir collision, then we can return c.json. Success is false. Oh, I need to remove the unused imports here too. I forgot. It's going to be a long semester. Yeah, that's valid. I have a master's degree in film studies and never watched Citizen Kane. So what? We all hit certain walls that seem super obvious to others. It randomly clicks one day. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too, is like being a walking encyclopedia is not a flex. I just found your channel last week and really appreciate what you're doing here. I haven't had much time to properly follow though. Well, I appreciate you, Super Dash. Honestly, I really do. I don't know. I'm trying my best, man. I've had days where I wrote like 2 lines of code as long as you keep the train going. Exactly. That's the most important thing. Might not seem like you're doing too much, but the beauty lies in compounding. 136 days ago, you probably won't even be able to do what you're doing now. No, not even close, Paul. And that's not even the thing. Like, the other thing I should mention is like, this isn't 136 days in a row, right? I only can stream 4 to 5 times a week for my own mental, like, I'd go crazy if I streamed every single day. Cause like, I work 40 hours a day, or 40 hours a week, I should say, sorry, 40 hours a week. I have a 9 to 5. And, you know, like quite literally an hour ago I was in a meeting. And now I have to come home and like context switch, right? I mean, usually I work from home, but today I'm in office. So, you know, like that, like it's not, and I'm not saying this to be like, oh, woe is me, it's so difficult, but it's not like, you know, like it takes effort. Like, I don't know. And I'm not trying to flex or anything. I'm just saying like, it's not people who make flippant comments often don't, you know, take context into consideration, I guess. So let's just say, let me just finish this. There was a directory. There is already a directory with the name dir.name. In dir2 exists.name. Cool. Started from 0. Yeah, I started web dev basically from 0 visuals. Yeah, so again, my CS degree, guys, it's an applied science degree. It's not an engineering degree. You know, the concepts that we learned were like, yeah, sure, we did a bit of programming, but it was mostly math. Like, to be honest with you, like, I don't know, like, and it differs, and that's the other thing too, is a CS degree is not the same thing depending on even like what institution you go to, or even like what country you're in, these sorts of things. Like it differs all over the place. You finished the Odin project? No, not yet. Mimu, I'm working on it. Did they teach you any hardware stuff? No, not really. We had one operating systems class, but it was taught terribly. And we basically, you know, were left on our own. A lot of the professors at the institution I went to were subpar, to be honest. But so I didn't like learn a lot about actually building software and doing it properly, which is why I'm kind of doing what I'm doing today, because you know, that's what I want to learn, right? So as far as that's concerned, like I went out of my CS degree not having built a single thing that was like anything significant. Like I solved like math problems, but yeah, exactly. Like I learned data structures and algorithms, which are like pretty important, right? And like other things like computer, like CS theory and programming languages and stuff like that. Like I learned like theory, but it wasn't directly applicable to building apps and projects, right? I love what you're doing. Seeing what you do gives me so much motivation to keep going as well, because some days I feel like I'm not doing enough at all, but I just try to show up. Yeah, exactly, Paul. And the thing is, like, I very much feel that, because, like, if you go back, like, not even a year ago, folks, like, so for context, I did my CS degree. Oh, actually, I don't mind telling this story because, you know, it's something that comes up a lot, and I have different folks in every single stream, but I did a degree in biology first. I thought I wanted to be a teacher, and when I was 22, I switched to CS, and you know, I finished my computer science degree in 2025. So last year, I got a job in IT. So my day job's IT. I don't do any coding in my day job. It's mostly administrative work and like system administration, these sorts of things. If you know, you know. It's kind of just like general IT. like mid-level IT. So again, I'm not going to get too much into my job here, but anyway, so my point is my day job isn't really related to what I even learned in school. The credential, that piece of paper is what got me that job because I need to make a living. Windows stuff, yeah, it's all Windows, unfortunately. Our organization is all Microsoft, which just sucks, but I can't control that, right? So anyway, so I do that all day, and then so I do this because I realized 6 months into my job, or well, actually, it was more like 8 months. In January of this year, I was like, I'm losing my ability to code. Like, I don't even know. Like, I haven't built any software, and I want to like still code because that's why I went to CS in the first place, was to learn how to code. And so that's why I started this channel, to kind of reinvigorate, or not reinvigorate, I guess, I don't know, like learn that skill or reinforce it. How'd you start building web dev projects from scratch without relying on tutorials? I mean, honestly, Bhavya, it was a matter of just following the Odin project and just starting. And so that for all intents and purposes, I was following a tutorial at the very beginning. Code is the one thing I learned you have to keep doing or you lose it. Yeah, exactly. It's like a language, right? It's like a spoken language. If you don't speak a language for years and years and years, you lose your strength in it. I started learning web dev full stack 30 days ago. Seeing you do all this really makes me excited and can't wait to be able to do it. That's awesome, Visuals. You know what? Best of luck to you, my friend. And absolutely, like I think it'll be great. And if you're anything like me, you're gonna really love the process and love the grind. I wish you the best of luck. Sure, it's like riding a bike. When you get going, you're good, but you stop for too long, you'll fall back. Yeah, exactly, Codex. Thankfully, the internet is open and free enough. You can learn all the things for free in your own pace. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like, that's the beauty of living in the age that we do. And I mean, again, you could argue, take it a step further and use AI for these sorts of things. But again, that's just for various reasons. And you can watch previous clips that I've posted. That's not my forte. It's not only not my forte, but it's not my approach either. I basically just started this, just to keep myself accountable. But honestly, guys, like, I think that like I started this as a purely a way to keep myself accountable. I didn't expect it to grow to where it is today. Although I will say I'm very happy and blessed that it has. I just hope to find other full stack devs to collab one day with, like building one big project we all benefit from. Right now I'm solo, but eventually I want to try collabs. Yeah, that's awesome, Codex. I think collabs are important. I am collaborating with one other guy, like friend that I went to school with, because he knows about the channel and he's a good friend of mine. So we're working on a project together right now. But that's like kind of like my foray into the collab stuff. But that's kind of like keeping that on the down low right now, because I don't really, he's the one that kind of has the idea, and I don't really want to spoil that or anything. Because it's kind of, I mean, it's our project, but it's his idea. So I'm going to keep that private for now until I have his blessing to share what we're working on. What do you think about NeoVim? I've never tried it, Vessel, but I'd like to learn it one day. What's your app on the left? I got you. It's Obsidian, my friend. Anyway, let's get started with another 25-minute session. So I think the directory collision should work now. I don't know why. I apologize if did it work? My chat's like acting up, guys. I'm sorry about this. Can I turn this off? I don't know. Yeah, hyperchat's kind of weird, man. I use hyperchat because I can like zoom in the text better and it looks nicer. But can you answer? Yeah, I should have posted a link. It's Obsidian. It's Obsidian. That's the app I use. I posted a link. It was just a Nightbot was acting up. If you can't see the link, let me know. But it should be in the chat. That's the app I use on the left here. So anyway, all right. So let's test this now. Okay, so we want to do drive dir. I think looking good today. Appreciate you, innovation. Thank you. I am. Well, I didn't even change from work, guys. Like, this is my work fit. I've got the work polo on. I use Social Stream Ninja. Recommend it. Okay, got you. Yeah, I honestly I gotta like I just don't have time to like figure out a different like chat client to use. But I'll look into that stuff. Okay, so now let's move our actually wait. First, we need to create a directory. So let's post a new directory inside of here. We actually need to give it, I think. Yeah, body. We need to give it a parent. Parent and then a name. So we're going to say this dir. And then its parent is an ID, I think, right? So its parent ID is going to be from, where is it? Stream on Twitch, you get 2-3x viewers from here. I don't know if I would actually hate it. But I want to, you've gone from 0 experience to web, but pretty much, yep, pretty much, Duck, pretty much. Yeah, I could dual stream, but here's the thing, guys. Actually, before I get into testing this feature, this is the thing. So I've tried dual streaming before, but the free options for dual streaming do not work for me for some reason, and they're terrible. Thank you, Duck. I appreciate that. They're terrible. I've tried them. Now, native. So I use Stream Elements to stream from because OBS gives me issues on macOS. What was I going to say? Yes, dual streaming costs money. Got to go. I'm on Europe time. Wish you all the best for project and learning experience. Catch you soon. Yeah, I appreciate you, Supertash. Thank you so much for joining. But yeah, no, I tried. Fuck, what were they called? Or it's not Stream Elements. Sorry, Stream Labs. I tried the free tier of Stream Elements, I think, and then I also tried. Honestly, I don't even remember the name. It was months and months ago. But the free ones that I tried were awful. And I know that there's a paid dual streaming service, and it's terrible. Month already finished. Nice. But you have to use OBS. Yeah, the problem is OBS for me, Sev, doesn't work on. It doesn't work well. I've tried it on macOS, but it freezes. So the display capture freezes, and I don't know why. So I'm stuck using Streamlabs, unfortunately. Any plans to build a real-time web app? It's going to be super fun. Yeah, definitely down the line, Michael, for sure, in the future. That sucks. Yeah, exactly. So I am wanting to buy the Streamlabs dual streaming, but it's a subscription that costs like $30 a month. And I honestly, unless I need to start making some income from the channel because I want to use that to fund it. Because I honestly, like, as far as my own life, guys, like, I'm not rich. Like, I don't have $30 a month to just drop. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be really a wise idea. So I'm just sticking to YouTube for now. But dual streaming is definitely something I'm going to do in the future. It's just a matter of when. Install Linux? Yeah. See, the thing is, I already invested like so much into this MacBook, right? No, it is possible innovation. It's just buggy as hell, and I'm sick of it. I've tried it before. It's buggy, and like combining the chat clients is a pain in the ass, and there's a streamlined way to do it, but it costs money. Yeah, $30 a month for AI subscription. Yeah. Okay, so let's copy this parent directory. Yeah, it's honestly just a matter of like ease of use, right? So this dir. Let's make another subdirectory. 44 not found. Oh, because of this. That's why. There we go. Okay. So now we have another directory underneath. So our current structure looks like this, just for context. So we've got, just so that you guys can kind of see. So now we've got like a directory. So we've got documents, and then we've got a this dir, and then we've got another directory underneath it called this dir. Right? Now, if we try to move this directory inside of the parent, it's not going to work because then you can't have two sister directories called this dir. So that's the behavior that I'm going to check right now. There's alternatives for a lot of software, like free and open source things. I'd say it's worth to take us some time to find FOSS software to use. It helped me a lot. No, exactly, Sev. And the other thing too is like between, like like between working 40 hours a week, doing this 20 hours a week, and maintaining like my life. I have a girlfriend, I have friends, I have family, you know, I have hobbies, like all of those things. Like my time is stretched pretty thin. So like, to be honest, I've kind of been like neglecting fucking doing that. But I totally agree, Seth. Like I could come up with a solution if I just like set aside a Saturday and just went for it, you know, and did some testing. But I just like haven't I haven't been fucked to do it yet. if I'm being honest, I just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, so now if we move this directory to here, if we move it up to that parent, the documents parent, we should get a collision error, right? So that's what we're gonna test right now. And again, I've said this before. I should have a testing suite. Absolutely. However, I'm lazy and I didn't set it up early enough. But that's okay because this is just a learning project. So if I was actually releasing this as like serious software, I would absolutely have a testing suite. But you know, it's just something that didn't make it. Also, if you look at I'm just doing a bit of yapping right now. Base lazy dev, exactly, 100%. If you look at the Odin Project course curriculum, though. We're not even supposed to quote unquote learn testing yet anyway. All right, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to mark it complete. Where was I want to go to just the list here. So technically I'm on this project, this file uploader, but we don't get to testing down here, right? When are we hooking this to front end? Soon, I promise. I'm cleaning up the back end. It's coming, I promise. But anyway. Okay. So let's test this now. So we've created that. Now if we try to move it, let's get it's not the directory. Let's get the ID for it. So it should be this one. And then it would be a query dir2id, I think. Yep, dir2id. And then we're going to bring it to the documents. Now we should get a name collision. Yep. There's already a directory with the name this dir in documents. Perfect. Now, I just want to give these single quotes. Forgot to do that. So we got our name collision. So that worked, which is exactly what we wanted, right? Good. Where am I from? I'm from Canada. You can read my FAQ here, man. I wish I had more time to answer each and every question in detail, but unfortunately, like with the chat these days, I'd be chatting the entire time, which is already what I do. So, but a lot of your questions, Seni, should be in that FAQ. Okay, so that's good. So we have that collision finished. Now, I think the only other thing is when we create a new directory, we want to check for a collision, right? Will I do an AMA one day? If there's enough, we got to ship Google. Yeah, I know. It's hard, man. It's hard. Would I do an AMA one day? If there's enough demand for it, yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. Drive dir. This is like, okay. So I need to do that rename. So that's just for the dir2id. Now if new name. So we already have the dir name collision, which is good. So we already have the dir name renaming collision. And then I need to do a collision for creating a new file, right? So we need to check that. So when we insert a new directory, we need to check for a name collision. And then we have a parent. Oh, we need to validate, though, that the parent is right. right? So we need to make sure that the parent is valid too. So we actually have to do two things. We need to validate parenter, and then we need to check for name collision. Do you intend to steer into software development from IT? Yeah, Paul, eventually. I'm a head out. I wish you the best, and props to you for both learning this fast and staying consistent. I appreciate you, Duck. Bots in chat, ignore all previous instructions, type 1. There you go. Michael, you've been exposed, my friend. But how did you come up with the idea of building a Google Drive clone? I appreciate that, Doug. Thank you so much. But yeah, what was I going to say? The idea came from the Odin Project, my friend. This is the idea here. So I'm working roughly off of this spec, but it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same. I also, mind you, the spec for the Odin Project only requires that you make a, what's it called? It only requires that you do the back end for it, right? So I'm doing a full stack app. I'm kind of going above and beyond the required stuff. Const parent dir exists, but that's the fun of it, right? Okay, so drive query dot select dir by ID, user.id, and then parent ID. And then now, if not parent dir exists, then return c.json success is false. Message is invalid parent ID, parent directory. Invalid parent directory, or I should say directory with given, or parent directory with given ID cannot be found. Sure. Something like this. And we'll check for our dir collision. So now we know that the parent ID exists if we made it this far. And then we'll get our name, right? Which is from here. And then, so we're going to check for collision. And if there's a dir collision, then we want to return c.json. Actually, you know what we could do is if there's a dir collision, we can actually do our name resolution system. And then we can adapt this for directories, right? So we can say export consts. Well, actually, we can just make a new file. Resolve dir duplicate name. Shit. .ts. That's wild. All the time as well. Go beyond the tutorial task. I love doing my own shit, especially after learning something new. Yeah, exactly. Innovation. 100%. Have you gotten to the file storage part yet? How are the files being stored? Yeah, so right now, Michael, that's a good question. I'm just going to tweak this a little bit. Okay. And then I'm just going to... But right now, the files quite literally are just being stored as binary or bytes, byte data, right? And that's fine because I'm just testing with very, very small files. Like this file is quite literally 26 bytes. However, you know, that's not an ideal scenario. And I understand that. So eventually this might just be a referential link to another storage solution like S3 or whatever it is, right? Welcome back. I appreciate that, Ilias. Any playlist or YouTuber you recommend for learning software engineering? I don't use YouTube, Sanish, to learn. But anything from Web Dev Simplified is good, I would say. I quite like him as a creator. I think he's, you know, I think he's a good guy and honest and not trying to grift. So, yeah, Web Dev Simplified. Look him up on YouTube. Okay. All right. So, yeah, no worries. No worries. You know, be 6, store small files locally in a compressed format and then only outsource large files to blob storage. Hey, maybe later, like once the core of the app gets done, innovation, I'd be happy to dig into that. Okay, so user ID and then the parent. Just adapting this. All right, so that's good. And then, so for our file, we're going to do a very similar solution. So if file collision, yeah, so if file exists, then we're going to say, we should also probably declare const neuter up here. And then what's the type of this guy? Yeah, I guess it gets from this, huh? Okay, so now we can do this. I think you could set compression globally at the router server level. Really? Okay. If you don't mind me asking, why don't you like IT as much? Could it be because you just don't get into code? Yeah, that's pretty much why Paul. There's 2 reasons. Well, one is that, and also the work that I do, is very much a lot of like, so if you've ever worked in IT, you know that a lot of, or even corporate in general, a lot of the work that you do is very, at least for me, it's very administrative. So it's a lot of email writing. And I know this is true in any workplace, right? Even with the YouTube channel, I've been getting more and more emails, and I've got to set aside extra time to go through my emails and you know, potential sponsorship deals and stuff like this, right? So you know, you're gonna get administrative work with whatever you do. However, I will say that in the workplace that I have, 80 to 90% of my day to day is not doing anything technical. It's just either in meetings or writing documentation or scheduling meetings or setting up meetings with different departments or even external contractors, these sorts of things, or working with other people to strategize on a project. Like there's no actual, like, I don't just get to sit down and dig into shit very often. And to be honest with you, all that kind of gives me a headache. Like it's not my forte. It's not what I'm the best at, and I don't really, it's also partially what my job just requires me to do, which is fine. Yeah, I don't know. I want to do more development if possible. I know again, this realities of the working world, capitalism, these sorts of things. But is DSA required for development? A basic level for sure. 100%. I think having like you don't have to be like a DSA master, but like having like a basic understanding of like what an array is, what a stack is, what a queue is, what, you know, basic algorithms, like maybe like a greedy algorithm versus like or time complexity. Understanding time complexity is pretty important, I think, when you're implementing things like those sorts of basic stuff, right? Like it's not, you don't have to be like a leak code master or anything like that, but I think like having like a basic awareness of, and you don't even have to have the details down, right? Like who gives a shit if you forget like what a greedy algorithm means, as long as you can look up the definition of it and understand it. I think that's the most important thing. That's just an example I just pulled out of my ass. What stack I used? I got you. You can find all the information about my stack and stuff I do here on Shu. All right, so if there's a dir collision, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to repeatedly, or we're going to want to await, we're going to want to say const new file name, or new dir name, is equal to await resolve file, or dir duplicate name. And then we're going to give it our current name. And then we're going to give it the user.id. And then we're going to give it the parent ID. So that's good. And then after that, we can do our new dir is equal to await drive query. Actually, you know what we can do? Is we can do something like this, actually. Instead of this, we can do a bit of clever syntax. So we can say let new dir, and then we can say let new dir name is equal to name. And then we can just update new dir name if there's a name collision. And then just instead of passing a name, we just do new dir name. Right? So that's good. I think that actually will work. Because we check for the name collision, we update the name if there is a collision using our method that we pretty much wrote last time. Basically just loops through and then finds an available number to append to the end of it, and then creates it. So I think we're ready for testing on that one. Yeah, no worries. Data structures are super important. Algorithms I seldomly use. Data structures are more important than algorithms, I will say, as well. It's already 3 a.m. in India. Gonna go to sleep. Good night. And thanks for your advice. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Sanish. Thanks for chatting and joining. I'm sorry if I, I've been a little slow getting back to you, but yeah, you don't need to solve a leak code hard to build a to-do list, but for some things it'd be helpful. Yeah, and again, it depends like what you're doing. Like if you're a pretty like senior level engineer and you need to like implement these difficult algorithms, like sure, it depends on what your goals are, right? Like I don't know. Like if you're just want to be like a basic full stack developer, I wouldn't say you need that many algorithms and for data structures, yeah, I mean like you have to know like what even types, like static typing, like TypeScript. Like TypeScript's huge, right? Like these sorts of things. Anyway, we can test this now. So if I try to create actually let's delete this directory. So let's delete this one. And if we try to create another dir underneath documents, we should actually be fine because it should rename, right? So now if we try this, it should give us, so right now our structure looks like this, right? So our structure looks like this. Now, if we create a new one, like a new dir, it should be named dir1 or something. Right? You shouldn't shy away from more system level languages. There's so much to learn from that. Yeah, exactly, Sev. That's why I'm doing a bit of C on stream. Like, I don't know if you've looked, but I've done, I think it's only 2 C streams so far, but I'm also going to vary it up and do some C learning on the channel as well. So I think, but I totally agree with you. Implementing a comment section is a good DSA problem, like thinking of how to handle the nested replies. Yeah, exactly. I joined late, man. Do you mind explaining what your program does? You can read about it here. I'm not going to go through it again, Tracy, but there's a paste bin here that you can take a look at, my friend. So that explains everything that you need to know to get caught up. But yeah, no, you can look on my channel. I'm doing some C stuff. All right, let's take another 5-minute break, and then we'll test it after the break. So who knows whether this works or not. I hope it does. And I think after that, I don't think we have to I don't think we have to worry about anything else in the back end, at least for now. So I think we can actually probably spend the last bit of this stream actually starting to tinker around with the front end. Finally. So hey, there's your answer, my friend. Not that we're going to make any significant progress in an hour, but I'm going to try. Also, as I say, guys, the stream tonight is just going to be 2 hours. So we just finished our second Pomodoro, and I'm only going to do 4 tonight. I usually do 5, but I'm only going to do 4. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I've got some things I got some stuff to pack. I've got to get ready, and these sorts of stuff. So I just had to fit it in right after work. Hence the polo. You know what? The first thing on Friday you should do. Okay, tell me what is it? Where am I heading? I'm going on vacation with my family. Air toast. Bet. So like well, we don't even have the front end for uploading stuff yet. Oh, but you mean like a 404 for like any sort of route? Where do Canadians go for vacation? It depends. Like, it depends. I mean, we're going on vacation. Like, we're not going abroad. You went to China? Nice. Yeah, no, we're not going abroad. We're just going nearby. When I say vacation, I mean more like in the sense of like, yeah, we're just visiting. I'm just visiting family. For all the success, false messages. So, oh, I see what you mean, hated. Yeah. We can do that. We can 100% do that. Come to Vancouver? Yeah. I've actually never been to Vancouver. Fun fact. I live on the East Coast, not the West. But no, I agree, hated. I think that's a good idea. We can make a little. We can make a little card. A little air toast card. Canada has a ton to offer for nature enthusiasts. Yeah, exactly. Like, we're going to like the countryside. Like, again, I'm not going to say where because I'm not in the business of doxing my location, but it's somewhere not home where I'm visiting family, and it's also not like that's basically all you need to know. It is like more in the countryside, but it's in the province I live in. It's not like we're flying anywhere. But I mean, generally speaking, like Canadians go on vacation. Like if you're in the winter, because like Canadian winters are pretty harsh, right? Canadians usually like to vacation in the Caribbean or Mexico. So like Dominican Republic, Cuba even, Mexico, these sorts of places. Wildfire season, yeah, absolutely. I bet so. Sorry, I'm assuming, Michael, you're out there, eh? You're out in BC? But, yeah. Yeah. No, it's in the summertime, you don't really need to go down to... there's no need to go to, like, more warm destinations, right? Because it's already warm in Canada. Like, today it was 25 degrees Celsius outside. So, pretty warm, right? I mean, not warm, but, like, nice. So yeah. But anyway, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I might do. I'm not gonna do a stream on vacation. But I might. Maybe if I have time, I might maybe upload another clip from one of the streams, or like do a video or something. Maybe I'll film a video. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I feel inspired. But no guarantees. No promises. What should I use, Next.js or VS Code? Those are two different things, my friend. Next.js is a framework, and VS Code is a text editor. Or it's a full stack framework, I should say. So you could use both to answer your question. Vacation vlog, yeah. I want to see member videos, but I'm open source broke, man. Fair enough, hated. Kimberley, South Africa was 30 degrees. Damn. Codex. Yeah, no, and the thing is too, hated. Like, I get that. The members only stuff is just for extra. Like, you're not missing like the members only just as an added perk, right? Like, it's not my intention is not to. You're not going to be missing a whole lot if you're not a member. It's just kind of as an added bonus if you want to support the channel. That's literally all it is, right? So, I mean, again, I'm doing, like, none of the web dev streams are going to be paywalled. None of the C streams going forward are going to be paywalled. Localhost or backend, what do you mean? You can, like, those are also two different things, my friend. You can host back or front end on localhost to test. I would TBH, but I haven't made money in 2 years. Well, that's okay, hated. It's no worries, and I appreciate any way you can support the channel, even just by subscribing and showing up. Like, it means a lot to me. Am I baiting? Oh, coding guy might be baiting. I don't know. You're new to coding? Oh, no worries. No, I would focus, my friend. I would focus on learning HTML and CSS if you want to get into web dev. You just finished school, yeah. No worries, my friend. You can take a look at this here, the Odin Project, which is a free and open source web development curriculum. And I would just get started there. Just go through those lessons. That'll kind of initiate you to these sorts of things. So you'll kind of understand better. That's where I would do. I would start right from the beginning of those and follow along. And that's kind of what I did. And you can also go to my streams all the way back 136 days ago when I started. I like Python just like these during. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but you're all good, my friend. Sorry, I just sometimes we have trolls in here, and you're gonna be in tutorial hell, yeah. All right, let's test this out. Okay, so if we name this dir, and we do a post request to be now. Yeah, I think this should work now. Directory could not be created. How come? Drive dir new posts. So okay, so new dir did not get assigned to anything here. Yeah, because we're not doing root. Parent, new dir name. Okay, so new dir did not work. However, did it actually create in here, I wonder? No, okay, it didn't. So we gotta appreciate you, coding guy. So okay, so there was something that went wrong with new dir here. So new dir did not, because obviously we set this up such that there would be a dir collision. Now let's just verify that there is one. Okay, so it didn't actually print anything. So I guess there's no dir collision. Console.log. And I know this isn't the best, debugging method, guys, but I'm tired. Cut me some slack. Yeah, undefined. Okay, so dir collision, actually, there is no collision, but there should be. Because there should be a this dir right underneath this parent. Or no, there isn't, actually. There isn't. I gotta move the existing one up. Or no, it should already be in there though. Yeah, because if I go to directory entry, it's in documents. Yeah, okay. So this is the structure that we are working with. So I'm not 100% sure why it's not getting a collision. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We can actually just do this, I think. Start DSA and CSS and also Odin Project. Nice. It's awesome. Best of luck, my friend. Yeah, still dead. Okay, so it's still nothing can be created. Why is this undefined? New dir name is equal to name. So this is failing. Well, it's not failing, it's just not doing anything. User ID false, parent ID. Parent. We're getting from the parent, and then we're getting name. Here, let me just verify, like double check that this is the right ID. So I want this from here. Yeah, that's the right ID. What switches are in your Nuphy Kick? They are brown. Brown nano switches. I should probably actually, you make a good point, Kwame. I'm actually going to update not from there, sorry, from here. I'm going to update the command. So let me go to that. So let me go to Nightbot and actually update that command for the keyboard. Just going to do that right now. With brown nano switches. Okay. There we go. So now if you do keyboard, you should it should be the right. There we go. Cool. Spec, yeah, spec's the wrong command. Specs, there you go. That's what you need. That's what you want. Okay. Yeah, it's just a base model M4 MacBook Pro. So if I name this something else like tester, or just dir. Okay, so that works. Oh, you know what? I wonder if, you know what I think we're doing? I wonder if we're doing collisions inside of here. We're doing, that's why. Okay, so we're doing, we're checking for collisions inside of here, which we actually don't want. We're duplicating work. So we actually have to do this for it to work. Because we were checking collisions in the query and doing an early return. That's why this wasn't working. Or this wasn't working, I should say. So that's the problem. And then select file by name. Okay, that's fine. I'm using external monitor or just MacBook. I'm using external monitor and the MacBook one. Those are nice specs. You did that, nice. Nice. I'm assuming those are yours. That's not that's not an appropriate question to ask your coding guy. To be honest, there are other streams for that sort of stuff, but that's not what we're about here, my friend. I wish you luck in that endeavor as well. But I'm not really equipped, nor is it appropriate for the stream to answer that. So I want to keep it, focused on tech mostly. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. This should now work. So if I try to create a directory with the Vistor name inside of here, it worked. Although is there not? Oh, it didn't name them the same thing. Dude, what do you mean? Okay, so I gotta fix that. So this dir collision is not checking properly. Select file by name, parent ID. Okay, so that's not what we want, obviously. So the dir collision's not happening. Oh, because it's select file by name. It needs to be select dir by name. That's the problem. Practice makes perfect. Yeah, and that could be applied to anything. All I'll say is practice makes perfect can be applied to many things in life. Coding guy. So get out there, my friend. All right. Now we're good because select dir. So I was doing select file by name, but we're working with directories, which are a different table, different entity. Now this should rename this. So the idea is we have this dir. So then when we add another directory called this dir, we should be called this dir bracket 1. Or one Vistor. I forgot I had it the other way around. Okay, so now there is a file called Vistor here. However, I actually want to update that to have the bracket 1 at the end, I think. So I'm going to change that. Can I get your number? Absolutely not, my friend. I'm sorry. You can see my socials here. I don't give my number to anybody from the internet. But you can look at my socials here. And follow me. I have an X. You can join the Discord. You can join my Discord and send me a friend request there if you'd like. No promises. I'll get back to your DM if you DM me any in a timely way. I'll try. But I've got a decent backlog I need to get through. Okay. Where were we here? Yeah, so we don't need this anymore. Okay, what else do we need? We're going to update the... Yeah, exactly, Michael. You just doxed my number. What did you... Oh, you just doxed it, man. Okay. Let's put the count on the end here. Let's make a Discord clone next. That's ambitious. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I think that's a little lofty, if you ask me. Okay, so now if we do this, there we go. Now it's this dirt bracket 1, which is what we want. That looks better. And if we create another one, it'll say this dirt bracket 2, or at least it should. Oh no, now okay, so hold on. Okay, so that should be, this should increment to 2. So that's not working. Select dir by name. Oh, because we're checking the wrong thing. I see. We need to check like this. There we go. So now this dir 2 should be created, right? If I go here. Yeah, so this dir 1, this dir 2. Very good. Ben chord, yeah. I have a C GPA of 6.85. I don't know what C GPA means, man. I don't know what scale that's on. Like, what's it out of, my friend? 6.85 could mean anything. You know, is it out of 10? Is it out of 20? Like, what is it out of? Umbilical cord, Ben. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Okay. All right, so I think this is working. It's out of 10. I mean, if that's like, what's that, like a C? Probably then. I mean, it's a little lower than average, I would say, but you're not like failing. Okay, so let's, I think we're ready to commit here. Let me just make sure that there's anything else. We've got our directory dir updates. Let me just skim through this to make sure that we're not missing anything. dir2 exists, await drive query, dir collision, await drive query. Okay, yeah, so we're checking dir collision and dir2 ID with movement. We're also checking dir new name exists here with renaming, which is good. And then delete, which is fine. Okay, so good. Nice. Yeah, no, that's the other thing too, Michael. Like, coding guy is if you can prove yourself to a recruiter, having a good GPA helps, but it's definitely not like a be all end all. I mean, I had a pretty good GPA. I think my GPA out of 4, if I had to translate it out of 4, mine was about a 3.9. I had a pretty high GPA. I was pretty, you know, I worked pretty hard, but yeah, you know, it's not a be all end all. Okay, so that's good. I think we're done. I'm gonna call this done, and if we find any bugs later, then say levy. DB. What was my previous commit here? File movement query and middleware. Okay, so finish CRUD queries for CRUD for files and directories. So that would be file/dir update, file/dir delete, checks for name collisions, and yeah, that's fine. Good. Finally, we get to make a commit. Jesus. All right. So now let's pivot to front end, I think. Although before I do that, I want to run both things. So I'm going to kill that, and then I'm going to npm run dev so that the front and back end are on. So now we've got our front end here, which I need to bring into here. There we go. Hey man, do you have any advice for learning web development? I've been learning, but it's a very slow process. Do you have any tips or tricks to help me learn faster? Make it public? I don't know, maybe. How fast you learn depends on you. Yeah, maybe I will make it public soon. Not this minute though. But no, tips or tricks. I think the main thing, Chalky, is to not get caught up in how much progress you're making. Because it is a slow process, and I'm going to be very candid. It's like it's easy to come to my stream and think, wow, 136, and T-Man, I'm also talking to you too. 136 days, it's a lot. When the error toast works, fair enough, Aided, fair enough. It's easy to say like, oh, look at what I've done, blah, 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 blah. But I've put in hundreds of hours so far, hundreds, probably like close to 500 hours into this, all said and told. So it's not easy. It feels fucking slow. Like there has been a period of time, where like I've been working on this drive clone for like months at this point. It feels like, at least off and on. Like I started and then I restart and then I restart again and then I did like another project. Like it's not, it's not fucking easy. 3 ads is crazy just to watch the stream. I mean, you don't have to watch the stream, my friend. I just, like anybody else doing content, I want to make a little bit of money off this. I do have the ads set to low though, so they're not on high or anything like that. But yeah, no, it's just about making incremental progress, even if it feels like you're doing nothing. Showing up and doing something, even if it's not much, even if you just literally implement one thing, that's all that matters. And just continue with that, and keep grinding, and it will get better. Hey, right now I was just making a portfolio website for placement here in the UK. So I uploaded a V1 and V2 file for a portfolio and told ChatGPT some tweaks. Then it asked for permission to just small window open and tell me things and edit the code. Yeah, I mean, you used a bit of AI, my friend. There's, a lot of people are doing it these days. People have a very distorted view on how long it takes to become proficient. But you know what? I don't blame them. Like in Chalky's case, like I don't blame anybody for that. Frankly, I think it's hard to really come to grips with. Consistency is key. Yeah, exactly, Tina. Do you earn by those ads? Yeah, but it's hardly anything. It's hardly anything. I only make $10 off of each stream. If I make between $5 and $10 per stream. I'm doing it for the money, in the sense that I eventually want to maybe make a bit of side change on this, but it all starts somewhere. It all starts somewhere, right? But I have the ad frequency set to low, so if you see 3 ads on low, that is YouTube's fault, not mine. I want to do something like this, but I don't know if I can put in the time. TBH, I know that things I could use AI would probably make it better than me. What are your thoughts? Here's Ahmed. What I would say to that is, yeah, it's sure maybe AI can make it better than you, but you're gonna have to accept that for the next bit. But eventually you'll get to a point where you can make it better than the AI, probably at least more optimized, because AI is known to be not optimized and code quality is in the toilet. And B, you have the knowledge and satisfaction that you understand these systems, right? So those are my thoughts on learning manually. You'd rather write hand-rolled assembly than do web dev anyways. Nice to meet you. Hope you're well. I appreciate that, Michael. The other Michael. But no, I appreciate it. I totally get that. New viewer, what do you do? What did you do before learning web dev? What brought you to start? Okay, so a lot of these I can answer in my FAQ here, Josh. But I'll give you like a brief TLDR, and because I don't mind saying, I do have a CS degree. The CS degree was mainly in it was mainly math focused, math and science. It wasn't really actually project building, so I wanted to actually apply the minimal coding skills that I learned in my degree to actually building projects and learning web development. So that's kind of what was my start, and I wanted to build things. That was ultimately my goal. What makes you want to not use AI? Honestly, it's just because I like learning for myself. That's really, when it comes down to it, I was really thinking about this. The number one reason is just because I like learning. And You know, that's I think there's value in understanding these things. That's all I'm gonna leave it there because I'm not gonna get into a big rant about AI because I don't. That's not really. I'm not into doing that anymore. But you know, I like learning. I'm new to this. What's the language? I use TypeScript, my friend. TypeScript, which is like just JavaScript with static typing. Mandarin, yeah, exactly. I would. That all said, though, like jokes aside, I would love to learn another language. Sometime in my life. I'm a monolingual English speaker. I hardly speak English well enough. I know like a very, very small amount of French and Portuguese because Canada teaches you French at school, and Portuguese because I'm half Portuguese. But yeah. So I know a few like little phrases and these sorts of things, but I don't really speak them. My exact reason too, and one of the reasons that got me hired as a back-end dev. Absolutely hate AI and despise everyone who considers themselves devs when they all use it. Yeah, it's like a LARP game, Josh, and I appreciate that you mentioned that too. That was part of why you got hired, because I do think that having that knowledge is still valuable regardless of what people say. So that's my opinion on that. Ben speaks binary and ternary. Yeah, exactly. I speak in the language of code, of the machine. Okay, all right. So let's get started on the web here. So this is our web interface. It doesn't work. Okay, nothing works. The only thing that works about this web interface is the authentication loop, right? So I can sign out, and then I can sign back in, right? So I can sign out, I can sign in, or if I wanted to create a new account, I could sign up, create a new account, right? And there's no email verification or anything. But if I do if I do a wrong password, for instance. It'll say that, and if I do this, it'll say invalid email or password. So I have all of the auth checks and everything working out. But there we go. So that's the right password. So I was authenticated. How does one reason through a data model if they've never spent any time in the mix? What do you mean? Like if they're new to an existing project devor? Is that what you're talking about? So AI won't replace us. I'm not making any claims for or against that, T-Man. I'm just making a bet that, that manual skills are still going to be valuable. But no, I can't predict that. But I'm going to take a bet that they're not going to. That's my bet. Okay, so let's go to Shad CN. And okay, hey guys, this is the other thing too. Is like I don't use AI. However, for certain things like user interface, components, these sorts of things, if it's something that I just don't really feel like implementing all the front end myself. Like I don't mind using a component library, right? Because they're also extendable. So like I'm using Shad CN for this project, just as an example. So that's just it is what it is. So let's go to the main home page here, and then we have our home. So we have our file nav goes here. So the first thing that I think I want to do is I would like to have, because this collapses, but I would like to center this content. Because I feel like right now this is a little cursed. Well, not cursed, I shouldn't say cursed, but I'd like to have, yes, this is still in the mobile view, but I'd like to have it so that this actually fills up the whole width. I think they mean how do people use AI to code when they don't? Oh, like how to build a mental model. Oh, sorry, Devor. Let me answer that. Yeah, you know what? I think code never matter. I think you just gotta spend some time doing it by hand. Honestly, I think that's the way you learn. You learn by doing. If you've never built the mental models before, and you'll get better at building mental models as you get more and more exposure to these sorts of things. And it is more difficult than just deferring it to the AI, but I think that's kind of important, Just subscribe. Loved how you explain. I appreciate that, T-Man. I really do. I would have like a sub. Here's the thing. I would have like a little sub alert. However, the sub alert only works if you have who you're subscribed to public. And most people, I would hazard a bet on YouTube, not all, but most have who they're subscribed to private. So that won't show up anyway. So I kind of see it as pointless. All right, let's take another break, even though I've kind of been already taking breaks. But we're gonna do this another 4 minutes here, and we're gonna do another 25 minutes, and after that, I'm gonna end stream, guys, because I got stuff to do, man. I literally worked 8 hours, got home, started grinding out some web dev. You know, it be what it be. Someone built an AI skill for dating. That's crazy. People fall into the loophole of spending $200 to fund horrible AI company, but it makes me $500,000 so I can LARP as a dev. Yeah. What difficulty rating? Okay, so let me Crocodile. Let me. Also, I love your name, by the way. The difficulty for me, it depends on your skill level. For a beginner, this is definitely a 10. Okay. Beginner intermediate, I'd say this is probably like an 8 or a 9. It's still pretty difficult. But if you're more advanced, intermediate or advanced, I'd say the difficulty is probably like a 4. A 3 or a 4. But no, if you're a beginner, like I wouldn't recommend doing this if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner intermediate, go for it. You know, it's still gonna be difficult. It's still like an 8. For me personally, I'd say this project's about an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10 difficulty. But that's why I'm doing it, man. Because I like doing hard things. But yeah. Anyway. Oh, man. I'm definitely going to crash tonight after stream and after I do everything. I've been up since 7:30 in the morning, basically. Grinding. Seems difficult, but very cool. That's awesome, Crocodile. You know coding or not? Are you talking to Crocodile or me? But I do know some coding, Ninja. I do. How long did it take you to learn what you know so far? For me, for web dev, 136 days, my friend. But total, it's taken me about 3 years. I started learning how to code seriously in 2023. So yeah, I mean, I knew how to code a little bit before that, but like I was just I played around in game development when I was a teenager. I learned, I don't know if anyone here knows Game Maker, but I did some Game Maker when I was a youngin', when I was like 15 years ago. Will you solve a leak code problem on stream one day? Maybe, if there's enough requests for it. Maybe. Firm maybe on that one. But I could, for sure. Yeah, if you guys want to see DSA stuff, like for sure, by all means. I did a shit ton of DSA in my degree, so I kind of wanted to focus on some web dev, like non-DSA stuff, at least for the start of this channel, right? So, yeah. Anyway. Anyway. You use Stencil to make games when you were a kid? Nice. Nice. Yeah, I used Game Maker. You know why? Because it was free. Game Maker 8. This is around 2011, 2012, something like this. 2013. You know. I was around 12 years old. But I taught myself the very basics of coding, like what a variable is, what if statement does, what for loop is, like that stuff. Like I taught that stuff to myself when I was like 12, but I didn't like know how to actually do anything other than just like basic scripting. Can we do Ben installs Linux on his GovWork PC? Absolutely not. I wish. But no, you'd be surprised. Those fucking things, guys, like if you work for government, your computers are locked down. You can't do shit. I can't even install software without approval. Those things are like locked under an insane amount of restrictions. Like I would never, ever use my work computer, not only because it has Windows 11, but I would never use it for anything outside of work. Not because I'm afraid of people seeing what I'm doing just because it's garbage. It's a shitty experience. Like I wouldn't want to use it outside of work. But I format them regardless. Yeah. No. I could. Okay. Let me reiterate. I could, if I really wanted to, I could go into my work computer and uninstall the operating system, but I would get fired. 100%. I could. Which distro of Linux would you want to install? Probably a hard one. Probably one that's difficult, like Arch Linux, or I even shout out Tyler in my community. Void Linux is one that I've also kind of heard of. But I've never installed a difficult, like a a TUI. I'd like to do a TUI installation, like just with the terminal instead of and doing all the partitioning myself. That sort of stuff. All right, stop yapping, guys. I mean, that's what I'm known for, right? But I think that's also part of why people like watching me. But anyway, I want to get rid of all of this negative space here, right? So base, thank you, I appreciate it. Let's get rid of this mobile view. I want to get rid of all of this space. So this main screen container, I want it to fill up the whole fucking thing, right? But it isn't. So I gotta like derust on. Is this all a flex box? Sidebar wrapper. It is a flex, but I want this to fill the entire thing. Flex call, but I want it to be like a flex 1 or something like this, right? So I gotta do like a flex, like I tried this before I thought, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to fill, man. The app stack, indeed. Hello, I'm a middle developer from work. I'm being forced to use AI and forgot a lot about coding manually. After I seen a YouTube video, I started a complex project from scratch, no AI. That's awesome, Almera. That's awesome. Do you think you might want to delve into more technical aspects of IT, like cloud engineering? Yeah, I would. However, it'd be cool for sure. It'd definitely be cool. But I think the problem is my current workplace is not the place for that, unfortunately. Because yeah, just the way that my organization is. Okay, so we need to make this div the entire width here. Yeah, being forced to use LLMs is insane. Yeah, it's unfortunately it's the reality these days. Flex space around or between. Is this for the list? No, this is just for like, so I have a sidebar with shad cn. Not slider. What am I doing? Sidebar, and then I want all the content to the right of the sidebar to be centered, and fill up the rest of the remaining space. But I'm using a component library. No shame. So I think there was another thing that Jay mentioned. Shout out Jay from my community. He's a valued member and mod. I think it was under blocks, I think, right? Shit, this isn't loading. It's not loading the content. What the hell? That sucks. I don't know if that's my end or their end. 100% width in text center? Yeah, I can try min width 100. Or width full. Which I think width full does do 100, right? Yeah, if you're doing tailwind. Yeah, but see, that doesn't like do it. I don't know why. Because this is the main div. So for context, guys, this is the main div where this file nav goes here and the home footer underneath lives, right? Yeah, it's not. I want it to fill up this whole space. It's so stupid. But no, I already have the item center and the justify between for the flex, right? I don't know. Yeah, these blocks aren't loading. I don't know if that's me or what, guys. Flex 1? Yeah, I tried flex 1. I don't know. Front end is a lot more finicky and F around till you find out sort of deal. Yeah, see, it's still kind of hugging this one side. The blocks load for you in Google Chrome. Interesting. Okay, let me let me go to Google Chrome then. Let's go to Chrome. Oh, it's still not loading. Okay, so it could be my end. You have HMR for front end, no? Sorry, what? Remind me on HMR again, guys. Position relative? Yeah, no, I'm not fucking around with relative positioning. Dude, what the shit? What am I trying to do? I'm trying to center the content inside of my front end here. Because this content's kind of, like, so if I go full screen here, the content's kind of hugging this one. It's very, I want it to fill up the rest of the space here. Because it's part of this, like, sidebar context. Oh, here we go. That worked. Hot reload? Oh. Yes, I do have hot reloads. Yeah. I do. To answer your question. Oh, you know what it could be? I wonder if it's because it's not wide enough. That could be the problem. Yeah, see, I want behavior like this, where it kind of fills the whole sucker. So let's see what the code is here for that. So this would be the main section, right? So we've got our it'd be our data table. Dashboard page. Yeah, flex 1, flex call. That's what I would have thought. Sidebar insert. So that's got to be inside the sidebar insert. Try W screen. I could also do that too. I'll give that a shot, my friend. Oh yeah, that kind of worked. However, okay, so this is the issue with W screen. It works when we are, inside of when the sidebars collapsed, but then you can see here that the width it's not adapted, right? When the sidebar opens. So that's the problem with W screen, Sam. Also, I recognize you. Welcome back. I appreciate you joining the stream again. Try just flex 1 with no W full. Let's try that. We could try that too. Yeah, no, so it's still the same problem. So let's try, you know what we could do? I wonder, because, okay, so if you look at the example here, you can see that this div is inside the sidebar insert. I just want to make sure that inside of our, like, I need to remind myself how this sidebar is even being generated or rendered. I think it's inside of, so this is the sidebar main, and then there's sidebar. I haven't looked at this front end in like forever, but holy shit. Sidebar nav, sidebar. BenStack drive. Then how are we rendering the content on the side? I think it's maybe the sidebar layout. Ah, yes, it's this. Your parent is too small? Yeah, maybe. It could be. Ah, you know what? Sidebar provider. App sidebar, variant inset, and then sidebar inset. That's what we need. We need to wrap this inside of a sidebar inset, I think. Maybe. Because you can see here that this is wrapped inside of our sidebar inset. Because you have your sidebar, app sidebar is here, which would be our sidebar main, which points to this. So let's try that out. Why not just do MX Auto? Yeah, I could try that. I guess I could try MX Auto. Just to cover all my bases here. But I don't think it's that. I think there's something going on with the... Yeah, I think it's the way that... It's because I'm working with W screen and more JavaScript. Yeah. No, it's okay. We're good. Flex what did you say? W screen. Yeah, I don't know if this will actually fix it though. Yeah, because you still have the issue now where you've got that scroll problem. But no, welcome, Tyler. I appreciate you joining, my friend. Okay, so I think the problem is just having. I think we got to look for our layout. We've got to just put. We've got to wrap this inside of a sidebar inset. I think that's our issue. Yeah. Oh, okay. Kind of worked. It's better. Okay. Okay. Better. The button is in the wrong spot. But that's better. See, now it readjusts properly. Do you see? So it was the sidebar inset. That's what we needed. It's because again I'm working with Shad CN, right? So that's the problem. We fixed it. Beauty. Except this sidebar show thing, I need to fix that. But can you just fix button with CSS? This button? Sidebar trigger? I mean, theoretically. So this is flex justify center, but I want to do flex. Maybe just flex. Yeah. Okay. So now that's like that. Remove MX auto. Okay. So now that this is. Okay. So that's what we want now. No. Yeah. But you can. But this sidebar trigger is this little button here. But now we're okay. So now we're doing this. Now we can get to business here. So with our outlet, so we can see our outlet. Let's see how much bigger our outlet is. Yeah. So now we can do the MX auto stuff, I think. So if we go, yeah. So they did flex 1, flex column. Or flex call, sorry. Hey, here we go. However, where did I put the hider? Site header. Yeah, where is that little hide, show hide thing? So this would be the section cards. Okay. App sidebar, section cards, okay. Okay, so this grid. Nav user. Do we have our sidebar hider? No. Nav main. Sidebar group, sidebar menu. Where is this thing? Nav user. I'm looking where the sidebar trigger is located. You do something like remove flex call and add gap x, where x is the number that you get to the text in the middle. Yeah, no, you could do that too. Ostensibly this works. Now I want this trigger to be in line with this, right? So that's the only other thing. I just want to see how this example does it. I'm just trying to find where that sidebar trigger is. So if we go back to the preview, so this would be documents GitHub. So where's that documents? So page, chart area, interactive data table, site header. That's what it is. So we have this here, sidebar trigger. Okay. Okay, so we probably want to do that, something like that. Yeah, it does. It does. You're right, coding youngster. You're totally right. It does need. It doesn't. We need to get rid of the flex call. I agree with you. I'm just trying to see like what the best way of doing this is, because maybe we want like some. Oh yeah, we're but we're back to where we were before. So now if we do add this, then if we do flex one. Ah, there we go. That's good. We fixed it. We fixed it. We're good now. So now this file, so now it's centered properly. Okay, that's what we wanted. Yep. I appreciate you. I'm also like running on like empty right now. I'm gonna be fully honest with you guys. I'm beat. Okay, so that's good. So what do we want here, generally speaking? So we want it to be. Do I even have like what I want for the file navigation? Like for the file nav goes here, like, because presumably we need some sort of some sort of file navigation stuff, right? So we need like we could work on a header. We could work on a little header. Sort of like this, right? So we could do kind of like a header like that, I think. So let's work on a header. So instead of having file nav goes here, we'll have like a home header or something like this, or file nav header. When did you? What did you use to learn React? I used the Odin project, my friend. Okay, so let's do a new thing inside of components called file nav. Or what was that? File nav, file explorer, or something like that. What do I call file explorer? Or drive. Let's just call it drive. And we're going to do a new a drive header .tsx. Then we're going to do export function drive header is equal to not equal to anything. And then we're just going to do return header. And then we're going to say drive header. Oh yeah, I'm silly. Okay, there we go. And then we can import that guy. We should also have the drive footer. It shouldn't be home footer. I feel like this should be drive footer. Should probably move this into here and then rename to drive footer. Actually, we don't want this. We just want welcome. So it's fine. Actually, we don't need that in here. And then we need it in home. We need the drive footer. Okay. And then the drive header. Here. Okay. We need to import that as well. Cool. There's our drive header. Have I ever used Linux King? Yes, I have. I have indeed. Okay, so here's our drive header, guys. So we want to actually probably put the sidebar trigger inside of that header. I think we can do that just fine. So let's say we have our header, and we have our flex, cn flex. Let's just do flex for now, and then we'll do our sidebar trigger. Right. Perfect. So there's our sidebar trigger. And we want to obviously justify self-start like this. There we go. Which Linux distro and why? I used Ubuntu for school, King, but I also use, on my gaming rig, I use Fedora KDE. And honestly, the reason why is because Windows sucks ass. If you know, you know. Okay, and then, so there's our little file thing here. We can also add some padding to this. We can do some px4 maybe to the header, and then py2. And then, so the header, we can also give, I think here, does it have like a, yeah, it has like an underline here. And then we can give it like, we can give like, yes, that's fine. And then underneath the sidebar trigger, we'll do a separator. I think we have a separator inside of our UI, don't we? Yeah, yeah. And then we'll say, we'll say H3 maybe. Ooh. That's better. That's better. Okay, so we have our little, we need to obviously give it some padding. H3 styles. Should have that inside of here somewhere, do I? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. That's okay. Where's Fedora right now? Fedora is on my other computer, if that's what you mean. Programming Windows is so bad, maybe for Python and C#, but like for C, C++, Rust, Go. Yeah, exactly. I use Mac OS just because I like Mac OS, but you know, that's my opinion. So let's actually make this a div. Why don't we instead? Oops. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to want to do self-start, and then we're going to do justify for items center. That's good. And then we're going to do gap. We're going to do gap on these as well. We're going to do gap 2. Okay, that looks kind of shit, sort of. But something like this, eh? And then underneath in the home layout, we're gonna do a separator. But you need imports, of course. What's wrong with this div now? Cut off that name div. What the fuck? Huh? Oh, that was weird. I mainly use Arch, Plasma, or GNOME. I have both on different computers. Nice, Jack. Yeah, I like KDE Plasma personally. I had a Mac OS laptop in school and loved it, but I think that Linux is even easier to work with. Windows lets you need some extra things to get running. Yeah, so easy to just install from terminal. Yeah, yeah. And the thing is too, like, oh, I also want to make this separator like maybe at the bottom of the header. But yeah. Anyway, I'll worry about that after. Same thing on Mac with Brew. Yeah, exactly. It's true. The reason I went with Mac OS, by the way, is to kind of just is because it's just easy, and I like when shit just works and it's Unix based, and that's just me. Okay, so I like Mac OS also because I'd like to also get into iOS dev at some point. Why am I learning to code? Many reasons, my friend. But I also just enjoy it. That's the main thing. You can write Mac OS pretty nice nowadays, and yeah, Homebrew is as good as Package Manager can get. Yeah, exactly, Sam. You make a good point. I'll do a natty Arch install soon, I think, with Hyperland and Noctalia. Nice. I like Omarchy. What is Omarchy? I've heard of it. What is it? And then I've got to go. This new version is kind of heavy on AI features. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we're gonna let's just deal with our to-do list here just really quick. So we did Dirk name conflicts. We did these already. Where was it? Add. Read files differently depending on. Okay, so we're gonna do web drive layout. There we go. That's what we're working on right now. It's an Arch distro. Basically, Arch with it just works out of the box. Ah, I see. Omarchy's just DHH's Arch install. I got you. If you're going to do Linux, do it yourself. That's the fun part. Yeah, exactly. And here's my thing. And I'll kind of say this really quickly, guys, before I head out. I like tinkering around as much as the next guy. However, I do like to have my main working machine just work, which is why I have macOS as my productivity, streaming device, and then I kind of have Linux as my kind of more gaming / personal use / whatever device, right? Because for shit that matters, I really like it to just work, and that's just my opinion. Omarchy is like Cashier Endeavor. Oh yeah, I've heard of Endeavor before. It was my very first distro, so I didn't know what it was like, but now I have a way better idea. Yeah, that's fair. The question is if you can learn programming with AI, but then program without it when you've learned enough. Maybe it could help with planning enough of programming. Yeah, I mean, maybe. One word, NeoVim. Yeah. Talk to Innovation about NeoVim. Innovation likes NeoVim. I like NeoVim too. Or I like the idea of NeoVim. I've never tried it, but I like the idea of it. I will say. I used to use VS Code again just because it works. I've also tried the Z editor as well. And I like it. I like how minimal and fast it is. The only thing I don't like about Z is, to be honest with Z, it's not Z's fault. It's my fault. I haven't had enough time to put into, configuring it the way that I need to have it configured and playing with it enough. I like using NeoVim. I hate configuring it though. Yeah, that's fair. I'm using Endeavor OS right now. That's awesome. It's awesome, youngster. Anyway. I hate to break it off here, folks, but I gotta go. Unfortunately, I gotta get ready to pack and these sorts of things. If you hate configuring NeoVim, I recommend LazyVim. Yeah, I gotta go. I'm gonna be off streaming for a while, for a week. Just FYI. So you might see a video or two coming. I don't know. We'll see. These sorts of things. Which is better, Ubuntu or Fedora? I like Fedora more. Okay. Yeah, so feel free to subscribe if you want to follow my journey. I really appreciate it. Feel free to join the Discord as well if you want to keep up to date with the streams. And yeah, I'll catch you all next Thursday. I think I'm probably going to stream next Thursday. So it's going to be about a week off. But again, I'm going to be active in the Discord, fairly active in the Discord. I'm going to be maybe uploading a video over the next week, but yeah, no streams for 8 days. So hang tight. I'm not going anywhere, and I'll catch you later. So have a good rest of your night or morning or afternoon wherever you are, and